Okay,
Yeah.
like, and obviously, being able to take my kids on vacations here and there, my dreams were so sad, and it was really it just because when we had talked about that, he said, "Man, mindless beers on Friday," and I was like, "Dude, that's all I looked forward to." I didn't really care about like going out of town. I didn't care about vacation. I didn't care about traveling the world. I cared about like getting to the end of the week. I counted the end of the weeks, and here's what this has done for me. And I think like our stories are so similar. It's crazy, and between Rick and Kim Bodker, who's obviously one of our close friends here, they see things in people in this industry that you never knew, because this industry is kind of a joke in my town. I'm not going to lie. Okay, it's super taboo. To a point, it's getting a lot better. But before, it was like, unless you sold skincare, it wasn't really. It was kind of frowned upon. Or maybe you worked out in front of the camera for an hour a day and sold some shakes or something like that. It's like, all right, it's kind of okay. We didn't talk about network marketing in my town. In fact, it was kind of for people who didn't have jobs, right? As a teacher, we find that if you want to make more money, I have to coach another sport. Or stay here with me. Don't
My
leave me.
assistant is knocking my camera over. He's right here.
Okay. Oh, you're a cat person. Okay, listen, we were really similar for a little while. Now we're not. So I noticed in my life, for me to coach or to make more money, I had to coach another sport. And I was doing two sports not that long ago. I was literally getting home at 6 o'clock at night with two young kids. I'm a single dad, um, you know, and so I was in the realm of where I would come home, I would make dinner for my kids, I would get them in the bath, we'd go to bed, and I had absolutely no time for my kids, right? And so I found something that I could supplement my income from. As teachers, like, we love that security. We want our paycheck, but we budgeted it at the first of the month. Everything's like dialed in. I know exactly how much money I can spend. I know my mortgage. I know how much, my gas. I know how much entertainment I can get. I know everything from the beginning of the month. So,
And
teachers,
then
we
you have
kind
to
of
make sure
traded.
you have it for the summer.
What's that?
And then you have to make sure you budget enough for the summer.
Oh, well, I have mine spread out. I still get paid in the summer. I don't budget very well. Okay, not like that. I'll spend it all. So for me, it was like, that security minded thing was really, it was comfortable for me. I grew up in a small business family. I don't know if you know this about me. My dad owns a trucking company here. We have quite a few trucks. We run agriculture here in the valley. And you know what? He was never happy. To be honest with you, he never took us on vacations. He was the system. He kind of traded his time for money, and I did the
Yep.
opposite. I wanted time. I wanted freedom of time. Now I don't own now with this I can kind of own my time. I decide what I want to do. I have the finances. You and I met in Dallas. Is that
Mhm.
correct? And
Yep.
so as a teacher this year, I have been able, I've traveled to Florida twice, the Bahamas, Dallas, Austin, Texas. We went to Vegas one time. I went to San Diego two or three times. We spent a weekend in LA with Rick and, Matt and a couple of people. Just in the last 7, 8 months, this has opened up the ability for me to travel all over the United States. And, yes, it hasn't, this company didn't pay for it. Like, they didn't give you free trips. But the additional income I'm making here has allowed me to go have the freedom that I want to do now with my spare time. And a lot of people don't understand, like, you can make a lot of money here, or you can make enough just to kind of like pay your bills, extra bills, or your mortgage. Like, who wouldn't like to pay their mortgage, like, on the side with a side hustle? And for me, like, I've done that beyond, and it's completely opened up my life. And, I know you had like a similar story because you were able to stop teaching. And I follow you on social media, and you're all over the place. And I love the life you live right now. And it's really cool because you kind of did the exact same thing I did.
Yeah. And going on what you just said about giving you all that freedom and stuff, what do you think network marketing has done for you even as a dad? What has it done for, like, coming home and not having to have been at practice and having all that time? What do you think it's
Yeah.
done for you as
Yeah, so that's like the main thing too, and that was one of the draws to this. For our company, we have a lot of single parents here, right? We have a ton of single parents, so I don't want to like neglect one or the other, but let's kind of gear it towards them for a second, right? Because sad thing is, single parenting is more prevalent right now than probably co-parenting or a traditional marriage right now, and I'm seeing it more and more. And here's what this kind of company could do is, like, I live pretty comfortably in my town off my own salary, but I kind of planned on there being two here. I
Yeah.
pretty much thought I was going to be married with two salaries. Dude, we would have lived really fine. We would have lived pretty good, right? So that didn't happen, right? I'm single. I have two kids. In fact, part of my salary now goes away. And so, for me to recoup all that and be able to do something else outside of teaching, it's been pretty amazing. So I'm home every day right about 3 o'clock with my kids. We have 5 hours before they go to bed. I don't have to drag them to practices and neglect them and, feed them on the run. This is something that we do kind of as a family. They went to San Diego twice with me this year. I drug them down there. During the day, we went to the beach at night. Huh?
Poor kids had to go to San Diego
Yeah,
twice.
right. Yeah, I mean, like they had a blast, right? And then I went over to another beach. I took them over there, and then I met with a couple people I was there. So for me, it's like, we're a traveling roadshow. We're a team. They come with me. They know what I'm doing right now. They get it. They're into it. And, it allows me to do this around their schedules. And, I mean, I've had meetings at my house before, and my kids are here, and they're entertaining, and so
yeah, it's
worked out well for me. It's given them the opportunity to meet new people and be around positive influences, because the people we have in this is, I mean, our mentors and our influences around us are amazing people. So I'm opening their eyes to other like ways of life besides the traditional, and they get to meet great people and build their networks at a young age,
I love it. Little entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
awesome.
Well, hopefully, we'll see. My kid, he hits up Rick for change every time he gets here, so I love it.
He's no dummy.
No, he knows the cash cow around here. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. I love it. So
all
right,
okay.
Go ahead.
I want to ask you a question.
Go for it.
Okay, so you're highly successful here in this company, and you've had a couple different companies, and we've switched companies. Here's what kind of bothers me about this industry, and I'm kind of speaking for a couple people I know here. Someone always says, "Oh, they went from this company to another company," and you know what? Here's what drives me crazy. I've seen some of my friends' resumes. They have switched jobs 80 times in the last 5 years. Okay. They have gone from job to job to job to job. Okay, cool. That's all like great, right? Okay, so when people find a company that maybe resonates well, I kind of want you to talk about, and I'm putting this in as good a terms as I can, so stick with me. I want you to kind of tell me, like, what attracts someone like yourself to a company in network marketing? What would someone like you look for?
So I think I can answer that two ways. I can answer that from like a general network marketing perspective, and I can answer it from a person with experience perspective. So, in a general network marketing perspective, when people first enter this industry, they don't really know what to look for. They don't know what foundations companies have set. They are introduced by somebody they know usually, and they know what they know, right? And I think we can all say that that's happened because we all started somewhere. So I think as you gain experience and as you get to understand just how powerful this profession is and just how widespread this world is, because, when you look at the amount of companies that there are and the amount of, this industry pays out $200 million a day in commissions. That's no joke. So, when you look at what else is out there and you start to understand compensation plans, you start to understand leadership, you start to understand history, you start to understand trends, you start to understand culture, and then you're able to make an educated decision. You can have all of those things in your lap, and you don't necessarily have to just make it based on your emotions. I think one of the hardest things that people challenge themselves with, and you can't blame them because you know what you're introduced to. I think one of the hardest things is that people have that emotional attachment and they're driven. So I think when people are driven by emotions and they feel like they're stuck, or they feel like they're going to hurt someone's feelings, or they feel like they owe someone something, or they're obligated somewhere, that's handcuffing. That's just not a fun place to be. I think that when you treat it like a business and you understand that, let's say you worked at Bank A for 10 years and you had an offer to go to Bank B and it was a better fit for you, they're going to send you out with a cake and a happy hour, right?
Right.
And the tough thing here is that I have to figure out how to say this nicely as well. People somehow feel like they own individuals in their companies, and that's not fair. You know, if people, and I was taught this by a mentor, an industry mentor, if you feel like your business is crumbling, or if you feel like there's a piece of your business that you're not in control of, or people are leaving, you know, maybe there is such a thing as shiny penny syndrome. Absolutely. Let's go find the next best thing. Let's go find the shiny object. But I think when you understand that everyone has a calling, everyone has a place they want to be, everyone has cups that they need to fill, and you decide to send them on their way and let them leave with grace, let them leave with dignity, recruit your way out of it. Go rebuild your team. One person, 10 people, 100 people aren't going to make or break your team. And if you understand that keeping those bridges intact and keeping those relationships strong could feed you down the line, I think people would react and respond a lot differently.
You know, I think you put that pretty gracefully. I think some people have a hard time. Like, I'm a pretty loyal person. I think sometimes our loyalty gets in the way of our bottom line, and it kind of blinds us a little bit to what else is out there for other people. You know, and here's the thing, and you hear this term a lot, right? With a team, you want to build a team one time. You don't want to have to keep building teams over and over and over, and retention is a huge thing, and people need to understand. You know, Rick uses the term shuffling chairs on the deck of the Titanic, right? Like, are you constantly recruiting and replacing, recruiting and replacing, recruiting and replacing, or does your team have a very high retention rate? Are people staying? Are they staying on, you know, an auto ship or an LCP? Are they being mentored? And I think it's really hard to leave a situation when you only know one situation, because that's all you know. And one thing I feel like is super important for people is culture and mentorship. And I know we're kind of using our words very carefully in a lot of things, but I would say the major thing, if someone's going to choose a company, has to be mentorship.
Yep, 1,000%. And the other thing that you have to remember too is when you are looking for something, or if you're feeling like it's not a fit for you, that's okay. Just because it's a fit for somebody else doesn't mean it's a fit for you. And people shouldn't take that personally. Mentorship can be a complete and total game changer. Having someone tell you that they work for you and that your success is their success, and being willing to fly across the country and bust their tail for 10 days to help you build your business, and then sit with you for hours afterwards. That's amazing.
I want to add to that, because, you know, in traditional business or sales, you know, here's the thing. People usually don't try, you know, your competition or your fellow employees aren't going to try to teach you everything they know to make you successful. In fact, it's usually the exact opposite, right? So all of a sudden you meet people who have made millions of dollars in this industry, and we've kind of laughed at it. We'll snicker at it in this town. You know, I think where I really became at peace with myself is like, I really don't care what other people think about me or what they think of me doing this, right? So I have a really good peace of mind here, because I know where it's going to go. They have no idea. But the fact that someone who has made millions and millions of dollars in this industry is willing to sit with you and tell you everything that they do to earn it is something that I hope people in your network are understanding right now how valuable that is, because this is a skill. And if they can learn a skill, an additional skill, and add to their bottom line or another source of income, that they're going to have unbelievably like untapped potential and earning potential for the rest of their lives. And I truly say this, like, once again, I'm trying to be careful here. When you're with a company that is doing massive numbers and has like such a high ceiling and potential, that you have to understand that that's a 30, 40, 50, maybe a legacy company type of income for the rest of your life. And that's pretty exciting, especially if you've seen your business plateau and slowly start going down. You know, it's hard to recruit after a company and you've been in there for 10 or 15 years. It's almost criminal to bring people into a company after that. And I'm sorry to say that, because that's just, you're kind of not setting them up for success. And I really feel I would feel as a moral person, I don't think I would really feel comfortable doing that.
No, I completely understand that. Going back to what you said about, teaching people systems and tools, success leaves clues. And,
Sure.
that's one of the reasons why I have been successful is because I follow what people do. I don't try to recreate the wheel. I seek it out. And, when people show you what success looks like and you duplicate it, I
Sure.
mean, that's skill this.
It's extremely powerful. And, you know, this is one of those things that it's a simplistic approach for the people who have the right drive. And if you have the right drive, the network, we're going to teach you how to do it. You just have to do it and teach others how to do it. And it sounds so simple. I know it's not easy. I'll say this is easy. It's not a get rich quick kind of a business, but the simplicity of it is really there for people who want to learn a skill. And like, I really want people to understand that, man. If you if you're willing to be coachable and teachable, and on the other side, teach others, you're going to find yourself in a great place in the company you choose. And, hopefully one that has all the components that one's looking for.
Yeah, totally. So let me just ask you one last question. Why do
Yeah.
you think teachers make such successful network marketers? Because
Man.
a lot of the people that I know are teachers who are super successful.
Yeah.
What do you think it is about us?
So I'm going to answer this completely honest, and I'm going to say not all teachers do, because
Okay.
I know teachers who